You would have been
today. Yeah.
You would have been wasted by now.
Well, that's what happened on my birthday. Whatever, when we went out to dinner, I had like 5 beers on the podcast more than an hour and a half. And when we went out, I like lovely. Me to have 5 beers in an hour and a half.
All right, we're officially live, guys.
Great. Thank you for joining us. We are Pixel Pints. We are the only global podcast that talk about the two great things in the world of video games and good beer. Shall I do the disclaimer? I haven't done it in a while. Please drink responsibly and all that shit. Don't drink 5 beers. Don't drink 5 beers in an hour and a half and then go out for your birthday. There you go. There's a lesson to be learned.
You know, here in the States, we call that pre-gaming.
You got to experiment. Then you live and learn.
Warm-up showing.
Yeah.
If Matt looks distracted at any point, that's probably because he's going to be following the qualifying for the British Grand Prix whilst doing this.
No, I'm trying to focus on this. I might do the replay after we're done, though.
Yeah, that's why you keep looking to your right.
I actually have Twitch.
I mean, you could say whatever you wanted. Like, how do we know?
Yeah. It's true.
If you like following us, what's wrong with you? But if you do want to follow us, please do so on Twitter at pixel_pints or on our Instagram page, where I have created the animosity between myself and Evan over getting likes for the pictures. Full-blown Michael Jordan, Richard Sherman style. Evan was talking shit about me. I don't get as many likes on the photos as he does. I
made it personal.
Made it personal.
To be fair, I have comments from a lot of my English mates who follow us on Instagram saying the Japanese photos are awesome. So that's probably why he's getting the likes. They're like, oh, it's Japan. So,
but I told you guys, I'm a 30-something white guy whose only defining characteristic is that I live in Japan. That's the only thing about me that's interesting. If I lived in the States, like, who fucking cares? I could hide in any Seattle corner coffee shop and you wouldn't recognize me from the guy sitting next to me. So it's the only reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't be taking any pictures of Milwaukee. Come on.
Right. So quickly go around the room, see how everyone is. Evan, how are things in Japan?
School's out for summer. The rainy season just ended, so now it's getting insanely humid. So we have the air conditioning going today. No vest. I was thinking about it, but I chickened out.
Disappoint me, Evan. You disappoint me.
I know. I'll try for a vest next time. No, things are fine. Can't complain.
Good. Matt, how are things in Vestville?
Well, it's 7:04 a.m. and it's already 34°C. So
Jesus,
man. It's supposed to get up to the high today is going to be 44.
Well, if you do want to live in a desert
as well.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I was in Vegas was 2013 in August, and it was 42 the first day that we walked out, and I just remember the air hitting me right in the mouth. And my friend had never even been to the States yet, the British guy. We just walked out of the hotel, and we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never experienced heat. It was quite dry, but yeah.
So the high today will be 110. Yesterday was 111 or 112, which I guess is 43 or 44. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
That's vest weather if I've ever.
So it's totally vest weather for me right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't ask what you've got on the bottom. Dan, how are things with you?
Yeah, good. Finally got some internet, so that's good. This has been quite a nice little house for a few weeks. So while we were waiting for our purchase to go through, quite lucky. Nice. So yeah, just been playing video games, doing a bit of work in the summer, and then just chilling, really. Not much to really say. Drinking beer,
Right.
I suppose.
And Keith, how are you? Because we never asked you.
Yeah, you never asked me.
Oh, hey, congratulations to Dave on his.
Yeah, so
have
I've
a baby, right?
lost my top Warzone buddy to having baby Nathan join his family.
Wait, I gotta write that down.
Matt, -2 points for you. So he must. The only reason why he didn't call his baby son Keith must have been because he watched that video that you posted.
What did you post?
The Family Guy video.
The Family Guy video. So I can't think of any other reason. We are going to have a quiz today, but before we get onto the quiz, I've changed up the quiz as well. It's going, there's stakes and everything.
Okay.
Ooh. Has anyone got beers they want to talk about?
I've got 2 beers.
Go, Dan.
The first beer, Jar Pour.
I've had that.
I've never seen that. Where's it from?
It's an Indian
it's Thornbridge. It's the
Thornbridge Jaipur Indian Pale Ale. Strangely enough.
Indian Pale Ale. It's brewed in Riverside Brewery in Bakewell, which actually I've been to. Funny enough, weirdly, I've been to that brewery. But yeah, no, it's so reasonably local to me in Lincolnshire. But yeah, it's quite nice. Just a standard. It's not got anything major to talk about. Just a standard IPA, really. Quite nice. Quite unoffensive. And the other one I'm drinking, which I've just finished that one, but the new one I'm drinking, just to annoy Keith a little bit, is Kona Brewery's Longboard Island Lager. So let's see if this has got any more flavour. I haven't tried it yet. Let's see if it's got any more flavour to the last one we had.
So
it wouldn't be hard.
Longboard is pretty close to Dos Equis or Modelo Especial.
It's okay. It's again not pulling up any roots, but it is a lager. Actually, I probably would drink this over the other one on a hot day. This is like quite refreshing.
It's a very beachy beer for sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I like the can design. That's why I show you.
That is quite cool.
That
cool
is a
can
longboard.
Design. Yeah, longboard. So that's cool. Anyway,
Evan, what have you got going
beers.
on?
I got one beer. This is one that I've actually never. I don't think I've ever showed on the show. Nagahama Brewery.
Ooh,
No, you haven't.
Nope.
Okay, so Nagahama Brewery is a small brewery in the city of Nagahama, which is on Lake Biwa. It's in the prefecture, the neighboring prefecture to Kyoto. It's the biggest freshwater lake in Japan. It's when you compare it to any of the Great Lakes, it's actually way smaller. It's nowhere near the size of even Lake Michigan, but it is quite a big and beautiful lake. But Nagahama Brewery is located in the city on Lake Biwa, and they have like a German style like pub restaurant, and they brew the beer on premises. And they recently got bought out by like a huge chain liquor store called Liquor Mountain. I know it's a great name for a liquor store, but so they started selling bottles proper in Liquor Mountain. So I picked this up, and this is their Nagahama Ale. It says deep flavored pale ale, utilizing the bitterness and fruity aroma of hops. This are so close. If they would have called me, we could have amended this. This, our flagship beer, provides satisfactory with the condensed malt sweetness. So this beer provides satisfactory.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
All of their beers have the same style. It's just a different color. I'm not really a fan of it. It's quite boring, but let's see if this pale ale speaks for itself. American Pale Ale, 6%. Yeah, a bit more malty sweetness than I thought would be on the nose, but it's kind of a caramel color. The head dissipated quite quickly.
Thank you for pronouncing all the vowels in caramel.
In caramel.
Yeah, it's caramel. Damn it.
Caramel.
Caramel. Yeah, that's I think I have so many IPAs, I just expect everything to be ridiculously hoppy. But obviously this is not an IPA. Great amount of caramel flavor in there. It is quite sweet, and that the sweetness is really what lingers on your tongue. It is slightly bitter, but unlike an IPA where just that bitterness just like sits on your tongue and that's kind of the last that taste that lasts and lasts. This is actually quite sweet, but it does have a good balance of sweetness, and this is better than the label. Better than you think it would be.
Put that
That's
on
for
the
sure.
label. It's better than the label.
This beer does provide satisfactory. I think they nailed it. I think they weren't. That is not a typo. But yeah, this
Provide
is actually,
satisfactory.
It's actually quite good. Yeah.
Well,
I
that
do
should
like
be the
this.
tagline for this podcast then. We
Provide
provide satisfactory.
I think we do.
I could actually make that happen.
This is I'm really enjoying this. I was not expecting much, but yeah, this is good. Nagahama Ale.
Matt, did you want to talk about anything, or are you busy typing at the moment?
I was gonna type out that we provide satisfactory.
We do. We should also tweet that out as well. I'm just going to turn my background off for a moment because I want everyone to see the bottle design for the apple beer that I'm drinking called Beanquake. That is one of the coolest
That's cool.
designs I've ever seen.
Which one's better?
For those of you listening, Evan's beer just says Nagahama Ale, and mine has Beanquake in black letters and the outlines of crows flying up from one side of the bottle.
Well, both of your beers have actual graphic design.
I think mine's better. Also, it's got the map of Hawaii at the back. That's really cool too.
It's a nice touch.
But no, Keith, yours is very cool.
And the reason that I wanted to talk about this is from Uprising Craft Brewing, but it's a combination of a brewery and a cider orchard getting together, and they've made this apple beer. So they use the apple juice that would go into the cider house's cider in the beer. So it's a very interesting colour. It's more golden in real life than it looks on screen. It looks quite amber on screen, but it's much more golden looking. You get this kind of sharp floral hit on the nose. You don't really get very many hops at all.
I like it, Matt. I like it.
And then, when you drink it, it's weird. So you get this. Shut up! I'm talking.
Sorry.
Fuck, I'm trying to explain to our listeners, our beloved listeners, we do this for them, not ourselves.
True.
With this, it's kind of like, that drinking most beers, you don't end up with a kind of sharp, clean flavour on the tongue at the end. Because this is using apple juice, it's got the sharpness that's left on your palate.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So you get an initial kind of beery flavour, but then you're left with this clean, sharp cider flavour as an aftertaste. It's really interesting in a good way. If you can find it, it's Beanquake apple beer from Uprise Brewing. The only place that I've seen it is in the UK is in Waitrose. It's 4.5% ABV, and I'd say this is definitely a 3.5 on the Pixel Pints 0 to 5 scale.
Nice.
I'd be interested.
Try and pick it up.
Can't say I've ever had an apple beer, so I'd like to try one at some point. Make a note. Oh, time
Right,
it is.
Here we go.
Shit just got serious, bitches.
Time to sweat
So,
already.
in a totally independent pre-show coin toss, Evan, you'll be going first.
Okay.
And it's slightly similar to what we did last time, where you went head to head with Matt at picking games until one of you got one wrong.
Right.
But I thought we can make this even more interesting. So I want each of you to bet some of the points that you've currently got on whether or not you can name more titles than the other person.
Oh.
Ooh, I like that.
Judging from my poor showing last time,
do we get to know what the category is first before we bet, or we just have to bet and then you'll give us the category and then we're either...
No, there's two categories, and because I was hoping that we'd have even teams, but what I'll do is I'll let Dan pick the category, and then you guys can bet.
Okay.
So Dan, we've got Tomb Raider games, or we have Call of Duty games.
Tomb Raider games.
I'm not betting any points. I don't know anything about those series.
Tomb Raider games.
Tomb Raider games. Okay.
I thought that'd give you a better
Raider
chance, Evan, than Call of Duty.
Right. So, according to Lord Google, there have been 19 Tomb Raider games released across all platforms.
Can we get Tomb Raiders on? Can I vote? Can we hold off and I can pick Tom Brady? Sorry, I don't want to. Tom Raiders on my team. Can I pick that guy?
Tom Raiders, yeah.
Right. So there's been 19 games released between 1996 and 2018.
Okay.
Evan, you get to go first. How many points would you like to bet on the fact that you can name more of these than Matt?
Oh man,
you're currently on 30 points. And Matt's on 24.
Okay.
I really don't want to bet a lot. Well, we have 2 categories, right? I'll bet, but I mean, it's no fun if I don't bet anything. I'll bet 2. I'll bet 2 points.
2 points.
I'm not confident. I don't know.
I think I should be able to tell you how. Yeah, that's crazy.
I've only played 3 Tomb Raider games, and that was the most recent 3.
Well, that would be 6 points. So you've already undersold yourself by 4.
But I mean, that's 3 out of 19. That's I'm thinking Matt probably knows a bit more.
You gotta think of the original PlayStation. It's quite easy.
Yeah.
I can think of 9. I think.
I know fake. I got some fake ass names for these games. Like I know it's like similar, but it's not the actual name. Oh yeah, so, I'm only betting 2 points.
I could probably name 11 at least.
Oh right, my God. Yeah. Well, can I bet 1 point?
Well, so Evan, you get to start, and if you name, since you get 2, you've only got 2 points. If Matt gets 1 wrong, you get your 2 points.
Okay.
So he needs to name 11 games correctly. Otherwise, you get 2 points.
He has to name all the ones he just said he knows.
Because I said that I could name 11.
Yep. So you need to name 11, and you get 11 points.
No, I can name 11 total. I don't know if I'm going to be able to name 11 with him naming other.
Well, if I take some of his.
No, you can't. So Matt, you've basically bought the board. So you have to now name 11 correctly named Tomb Raider games. Otherwise, Evan gets 2 points because he was so confident. Anytime you want to start.
And Matt, you name 11.
Okay.
Go, Matt.
Tomb Raider 2.
Yep.
Tomb Raider 3. Tomb Raider Last Revelation.
Yep.
Angel of Darkness.
Yep.
Tomb Raider Reboot 2009, whatever you want to call it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, or Rise of... So what did I say, 11? So I need 3 more.
Yep.
Shit. Now that the pressure's on, I don't know if I can do it.
That's the 8 I had. But that's the ones I thought. I think there's one more, I think.
You already know more than I do. I didn't know the other.
What the fuck was... There was a couple of PS2 ones that were... So I already named Angel of Darkness, right?
Yep. There's 2 more from that era.
Yeah. Shit. I need help with Google or Wikipedia. I lost it. Those are the ones I've got.
Okay.
Would you take Lara Croft Go as one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't realize that was on there. So Lara Croft and the
I
Temple.
did say across all media.
Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. There was what was the other one that was like that?
I stole one from you. Sorry.
Oh shit!
I know the one you're thinking of.
Yeah, the top-down one where it's puzzles.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't remember what the name is.
There's another mobile game.
Did they make 2 isometric ones?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
There was one for PS3 and one for PS4.
Temple of Osiris, and then they made another one, right?
The other one was beforehand. It was 2010. Temple of Osiris is 2014.
Right.
I did have Tomb Raider go in my back pocket only because I actually played that one. I'd forgotten about that.
You need 2 more, Matt. It's an easy 2 points for Evan. He just underbids and then sits back, smiles.
Yeah.
Says that I knew one more than the 3 that I'd already mentioned. Evan's a cool player at this. Don't play poker with him.
No, poker.
I don't think I've got the last 2.
Okay, so Evan, that was an easy 2 points for you. You didn't have to do anything. So you're now on 32. Matt stays on 24. The other titles were Tomb Raider: Curse of the Sword.
Okay.
I heard of it.
Tomb Raider: Prophecy.
Oh yeah, that was the PS2 one,
right? Tomb Raider: Legend. Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition.
Oh, all right, okay.
Oh yeah, but yeah, okay.
Tomb Raider Underworld, and the one that you were thinking of was Guardian of Light.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay.
And then the other mobile game was Lara Croft Relic Run.
Oh, I would have never pulled that one out.
No. All right. Well, let's move on to the
next category: Call of Duty games. There's 18 Call of Duty games that have ever been made. So, Matt, since Evan bet last time, how many of the points would you say that you could name more than Evan?
So I need 8 points to match him, right?
Yep.
I'll bet 10 points.
Evan, do you want to go 11 or do you want to see Matt try and name 10?
I don't think I can go for. I don't think I can name 4. I might be able to, but I might be mixing like the subtitle name up. Like I don't have a lot of confidence in this.
So
one.
I bet 10 points, right? Then Evan, you pick however many you can name, and then if you do name that number, then I have to name at least higher than that, right, to win?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sequels.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of sequels. I've got about 15 maybe in my head currently, maybe a bit less.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, the newest one, which is the same name as one of the older ones, counts separately, right?
I'm not going to give you 3 answers.
I mean, it's a different game, so it should. I might have one of the names wrong. Wait, hold on. I think I can name 8.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
Right. Name 8.
Call of Duty.
And then if you get
4, Modern Warfare.
Yep.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3.
Yep.
Ghosts,
yep.
Infinite Warfare, and then the newest one, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got. I have nothing else. I have nothing left.
Right, Matt. Do you want to take over and steal some points?
Advanced Warfare.
Now you still. Yep.
So that's one more than he's got. I could name all those plus Advanced Warfare.
Keep going.
Call of Duty.
Might as well name them.
Call of Duty 2. Call of Duty World at War.
Yep.
Let's see, which other ones did he miss? Did he mention Infinite Warfare?
Yes.
Wasn't there like a really bad Call of Duty that nobody liked?
You said Ghosts, Evan.
Yeah, Ghost. I actually really like Ghost. I thought Ghost was a good game. And then World War II. Dan's giving me hand signals.
Cheating.
Well, you've already got You've already got your 10 points.
Okay.
Yep. So do you want to keep going? See if you can get some more.
I'm trying to think. Well, Black Ops 4.
Yep.
Is there a 4?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, with 4 lines instead of
It looks like a badge or
Yeah.
something.
It was the multiplayer
It was
only
the
game.
multiplayer only battle royale, the first battle royale one. I'm trying to think of the ones that he missed. I don't.
There's 2 more.
2 more total.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Is there like a Call of Duty 1945 or something weird?
No, so you missed Call of Duty 3.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay.
And the other one is Call of Duty Mobile.
Oh.
Wow, we did really well then.
Would Warzone count as a separate game?
That's an offshoot of Modern Warfare.
Okay.
Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Because you can't download the whole game, don't you? You can't just get it separately.
Because Activision don't believe in compression files.
Nope.
Right.
No, it's fine, Keith. Like, it's not fun if someone's winning so much, so it's nice to give the other person essentially 3 points.
That's what people who
I have no problem with that. That sounds like I'm bitter. However,
yay! I'm actually on top for once.
and on it goes.
What I'll do next time, I'll go back to categories and just ask bastard hard questions like I normally do.
Sounds good.
All right.
Right. What are we talking about today?
Well, we provide satisfactory, and with that satisfactory comes Games Talk.
Games Talk.
I'm happy just to I've actually got. Sorry, I'm the resident curmudgeon on this show, according to viewers. So I thought I'd have that as my background.
Accurate.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about what we've been playing, but one thing that I would pose as a question, because I was playing the fabulous Sucker Punch game Ghost of Tsushima, and it occurred to me that a number of other developers could have made this game and probably would have got more critical acclaim, but it wouldn't have been as much fun to play.
Why do you say that?
Because if you took, say, Naughty Dog, and they made this, it would look prettier, but I don't think it would have been as fun or as interesting to play, because they would have spent more time making things look pretty rather than thinking about how do we make this fun.
Okay.
Similarly with Rockstar. If
Actually,
Rockstar
I was actually going to get into this when we talked about Tsushima, about Red Dead and versus this game, but yeah, go ahead.
This is so much more fun than Red Dead Redemption 2.
I 100% agree with that.
Rafa is like angrily, like typing on this.
So yes, there isn't the realism of Red Dead Redemption 2, where you've got overly elaborate animations for patting down dead bodies to find a couple of cents in their pocket and a couple of rounds of rifle ammunition. And in this, you just pick up supplies and they just disappear. They disintegrate into ash because who cares? We're having fun. Rockstar would have had you skinning the wild boar and bears and leaving carcasses there with a fully modelled bear muscle underneath. Whereas this, you just run over and you pick up some predator hides and you jump back on Kage or Nobu and on you ride. Thank you very much. It's just...
I've got a question about the horse, sorry. Because obviously I'm not playing it in Japanese, but when I was playing it in Japanese, he was using the horse's name in Japanese. When in English, he only calls it horse. Horse! Come here, horse! So I was like, I assume so. I didn't know if...
I'm playing it in English as well. because
Did
I
he
don't
call it by his name?
Yeah, he calls him Kage.
Oh, in my game, it doesn't. I can't remember which name I picked, but he just calls it
Did you
horse.
accidentally like? Because you can ride any horse that's in the area. Did you just grab a?
No, it's one of the 3 names, but I picked. I can't remember what name I picked, but he's never used that name in the English version because I've changed the language because I wanted to hear it in both. And in Japanese version, he uses his name, but in English, he doesn't. He just calls him horse. So I wanted to know if that was my issue or anyone else's.
No idea.
Absolutely, in mine, Jin calls the horse Kage, which is what I named him. Because there was only 2 good names for the horse, Kage and Nobu. And
yeah, I think I did the other one. I think I went with the other one, but I can't remember his name because I haven't heard it since I picked it at the beginning of the game.
Was it Kaze?
No, I don't remember.
No. Kaze? I don't know.
But because at that point I was still playing in Japanese with English subtitles. But then I was like, I can't have to read. So I turned it off because I'm a lazy bastard.
Well, it's not. I played it for a bit in Japanese with the English subtitles, but I didn't like the voice acting as much as the English voice acting.
See, that's where so I played it for like 50 hours in Japanese, and I just happened to watch someone on YouTube play it, and they were playing in English. And the second I heard people talking in English, I was like, ooh, like no fucking thank you. But it's like, okay, I kind of want to play it in Japanese because it just is more, sounds more natural, even though the lip sync doesn't add up. But I've also been playing it in Japanese for 50 hours. So, of course, you hear a different person's voice coming out of someone's mouth. It doesn't matter what language it is. You're gonna kind of
when they're speaking in Japanese, can you understand them and you don't have to read the subtitles, or do you still have to read the subtitles?
It's a little bit of both.
If I can understand it, I think I'll enjoy it more.
Oh, totally. And there is a lot of that. They use a lot of old Japanese speak. Like the only similarity I can give you, and it's not even entirely accurate, is if people were speaking like in a Shakespearean play or something, just using lots of words or Old English rather, just using words that we don't hear a lot, and this stuff that I'm not used to. Like even old Kurosawa films. I've watched those films with Japanese people, and they're like, sometimes I don't even know what these actors are saying, but that also might be the audio quality because it's actually kind of shit in some of those old movies. But also it's a lot of kind of like old English or old Japanese that, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah. Like you don't want to, there are some times you know, at the end of the day, you sit in the couch, like you don't want to read subtitles. Right. So
it's not, I don't mind.
For me, that is.
I don't mind playing things or watching films with subtitles. I think the issue that I have, and I've had this with anime or other Japanese films, is I find that there's this element of overacting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would change if you in anime, you are 100% right. Like there is something about like voice actors using like the same intonations and the same cadence for specific characters, like the woman who needs to be saved, and like the boy who wants to be treated more like a man and he's trying to grow into his role as the hero. Yeah. There's totally those like tropey anime voices. 100% agree. I mean, I don't feel like Jin or some of the other people are like that. I mean, maybe it just comes off to you that way.
Saki guy is hilarious. I find him. I love his character.
Oh, Kenji. Yeah, he's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
But yeah, I mean, if it comes off to you that way, I could see how it would turn off.
And I'm not saying that anyone is wrong because it's totally subjective. I'm just having more of an interesting time with the.
Keith, I speak Japanese, therefore I am the ultimate authority on all things Japan.
Japanese.
So how dare you? I'm just kidding. No,
how dare you?
Excuse me, teacher, you forgot to give us homework. But no, it's like if it comes off to you that way, it's like, yeah, you don't really want to do that.
I sometimes change back for like an hour, and I go there because I do like, and I play it in black and white in Japanese with English subtitles, and at certain scenes, you're just like, this looks beautiful. So I jump back and forth depending how I'm, which is weird because I didn't think I'd be able to do that. I thought I'd have to pick one mode. And so actually, it's kind of reduced the replay value because I'll just spend loads of time in the world before I complete it, but I probably won't play it again, as in the other format, because I can jump between.
Like a big moron, I was like, my first playthrough, I'm going Ghost, and I'm playing in Japanese in color, and my second, I'm going Samurai, and I'm playing in Kurosawa. It's like after I got 25 hours in, I'm like, I can't play 100 hours of this fucking game. Like I'm up to here with the game. I'm ready to wrap it up. But one thing, Keith, that you were talking about to go back to is you were totally right about Sucker Punch has a great. They know what needs to be gamified and what doesn't. And while I can praise and at least respect Rockstar's like vision for like a fully immersive game where they're going to go out of their way to, no, like we're going to have you do all these overly complicated and time-consuming animations because this is the vision that we have. Like I can respect that in some aspects, but at the end of the day, it's like they are still cheating on their vision because in some aspects it's like, oh, but you know, you need to go to the shop to change your outfit. And
you can't change your outfit if you're riding your horse too quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. So like you can't change your outfit if you're riding your horse too quickly, but you can if it's at a trot or a stop.
And you instantaneously change your outfit.
Yeah, and then or you can't fast travel. You know, you have to go and buy a train ticket and get in the train. But when you get on the train, it cuts, and then you're at the town so you're not taking the full train ride. So they even kind of realize where like you have to cut things out of a game because it's just too fucking boring, which is why all that type of stuff is not in a game, especially an open world game where you keep doing the same animations over and over. Yeah. And Sucker Punch gets that. And I think one thing that got me is like you were talking about how you just grab stuff and there's no animation. He doesn't grab anything. It just disappears and disperses in the air. In Breath of the Wild, when you cut down a tree, you know, there's like all these branches, or not branches, but there's branches and like leaves and stuff. When the tree falls, that shit just disappears. It actually kind of shrinks on itself and it disappears. And you know what? No one gave a shit. No one gave a shit that happened. It's like, who cares where the fucking leaves went? And I'm just glad that Sucker Punch realized like, oh, there's certain things that gamers don't care about. This has more to do with maybe the hardware, but like fast travel takes like 3 to 4 seconds. It's amazing.
It's amazing how quick fast travel is.
They did the fast travel down.
So you could actually read that like at least one tip between.
Yeah.
It's Matt.
I've never played a game with such fast travel.
You can fast travel across the entire map, and it takes about 4 seconds, and everything loads in.
It's incredible. It's like I can't even imagine what it'll be like if they up-res it for PlayStation 5 with an SSD. I just think it'll be like instantaneous.
Well, I've never read 2 tips.
No, me neither.
No, you can't.
So tip 1 comes up, you press right on the D-pad to go to the next tip. And by the time that tip has actually loaded, the game has loaded so quickly that the text flashes up, but not quickly enough for you to read it.
Yeah. The other thing I'd say is when you die, like when you die against a boss, sometimes I've been caught out because it's loaded again so quickly against that boss, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm back in the boss fight. It's instantaneous.
I walked away from the sofa to grab something, and I died again before I could get back. Yeah. Another quick thing is like when you're on a ladder, if there's just an item you can pick up in your vicinity, the R2 button prompt shows up from quite far away.
Yeah.
So you're able to just like go up a ladder and like pick something up, and it just disappears and it's in your inventory. It's like in Red Dead, you'd have to get off the ladder, go all the way to the object, hit the button, he'd push down, put it in his It's like game. We don't care about that shit. Just make it easy for us. The bamboo disappears in the air. Your horse appears out of nowhere. You can call it no matter where. It always
behind you.
It always pops in behind you. If it's in the general vicinity already, it'll just show up. But if you warp across the map,
I feel like
and
that's
then whistle, it just pops up.
I feel like that's what they do with Roach in Witcher 3.
I've got a story with the horse. So I was doing
I think
one of the early missions with, and I went to the beach of. I can't remember. I went to the beach anyway, and the horse was the other side of the beach, and I could see the horse, and I was pressing like to come to me, and it was actively running towards me. And then I like switched the camera out of it, and then all of a sudden it appeared behind me, and I was like, oh. So I didn't want to load it out and pop it back in until I wasn't looking where it was, which I thought was quite interesting.
It's like
interesting check
creepy
that it does.
Creepy Watson.
Yeah.
in that Sherlock Holmes game. There's that weird PC Sherlock Holmes game where like Watson would always like move when he was out of vision. You turn around and he'd just be standing there. But I like we don't care, you know. In other games, it's like in Red Dead or Breath of the Wild, it's like the horse is out of range. It's like, oh fucking hell, I'm just gonna walk then. But I actually ride my horse in this game because it'll appear out of nowhere. They realize like things need to be gamified, and gamers don't care about, you know, skinning the bear for the 5th time. So they just cut the bullshit out and they just make it fun. I appreciate that they took all that stuff into consideration.
I'm sad you can't skin the deer. That's not skin them, but I'm sad you can't.
The deer are sacred. You go around murdering deer, you evil bastard.
I went and shot some with an arrow just to see what happened. After you said nothing happened, just to check, and it was like, oh.
I actually it's like you can't kill the foxes.
Yeah, no, you can't kill the foxes.
Yeah, I wondered why with the deer, and then like 50 hours in, I got the tip. It was like the people in Tsushima see the deer as sacred, and so killing them is frowned upon. I was like, oh, you should have told me that.
But sooner. I have noticed the weather. You guys noticed the weather? Because I've been like stealthing it quite a lot. I've really like gloomy, like foggy, like rain.
No. I've hardly done any stealth.
I've done loads of stealth.
I did a shit ton of stealth, but then when I reached God mode, I'm just doing standoffs against everyone.
I'm now like samuraiing everyone, but for ages I was like stealthing.
I watched some of Vin's clips that he posted on Twitter, and I guess he's got the bow fully maxed out right now.
Yeah.
And he's just murdering people from across the map. Like if they load in and you can see them, that's probably how I would play.
Which is cool. Like you can do that, right? You can play Ghost and jump in and climb onto high places and like chain stealth attacks. So you can go in and stand off and slice, or you could just pick everyone off with the bow. I like that, and it's not one of those games where you feel bad, like Dishonored, Matt. Like you're playing it wrong if you get caught. This is more of a game. It just feels natural. Like, oh, okay, I was ghosting it. Now I'm gonna.
So like what I normally do, Matt, is I look at the watchtowers. I normally like ping everyone off the watchtower with my bow and arrow. Then I'll walk up to the front gate and stand off. And then I'll probably like run away a little bit and run around the back and then stealth in and kill the rest. And like do all 3 different points.
So
they do a good job of not making you feel bad about
the other thing that Rockstar would have done with this game is put a morality meter in it.
Oh, of course.
And people were saying that, like, I wish they would have. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I heard so many podcasts say that they wanted the meter Ghost of, like, Jesus, I just knocked my fucking, that was cool.
No, I feel guilty enough as it is.
I chopped
what they say.
No,
so I'm happy not to.
No.
I think
that time in Red Dead when I accidentally killed a cat.
And also,
I got points knocked off for that. I'm like, I didn't know it was a cat. I thought it was a fucking critter.
What I was
get points knocked off for killing a cat anyways? I should get like plus 100.
Speaking of which, Evan, how are you feeling about murdering Mongolian guard dogs?
Dogs, yeah. I see them as wolves, so I don't think about it.
Yeah,
that's kind of my personal point.
I don't know what it is. It's 2020, but like,
it's the killing the dog year.
Dog murdering, man. What the fuck? It's like finally when dogs showed up, I'm like, another game with murdering dogs. But I guess like cats are useless. You couldn't use them to attack people, so it shows how useful dogs are. So that's a plus. Like I don't know.
The one good. Sorry, Matt. You were going to say something, so go, and then I'll make my next point.
I think the one thing that would have pushed this over the edge into buy territory for me is if you could actually customize your character. The one thing I don't particularly care for is you're just Jin. You jump in, that's the character you play as, and despite all the customization that you have, it's not your character.
Matt, you can't play as a customized character in every
I know, but why not? Like it's if it's the power fantasy and it's me.
Okay, so I was saying I wouldn't like a number of studios to have made this game because I don't think they would have made it as fun. Do you think Obsidian would have made a better Ghost of Tsushima than Sucker Punch?
No.
I mean,
first what you're saying is what they'd done is that Jin could be anyone. So the name was, or they would just insert that name. That would take a lot of bloody work. So you'd have played it if that had been done that basically. Like you're saying, Matt. If you could build the character, but you still everything else is the same, they just input that name and your character model. you'd be happy.
So
to play
rather
it.
than the RPG light elements that you've got, where you choose to upgrade what techniques you've got, you can invest in. If you want to go full Ghost, you only invest loads of points in Ghost. Whereas this, you've got to do a mix of both. Otherwise, you would really struggle.
You have to do both.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think
one
it
or
should
the
be
other type
full
of game.
RPG. Is my.
So everything should be full RPG. Call of Duty, full RPG.
Yeah, why
what
not?
The fuck are you playing at Activision?
It's definitely it is not a game. There's no like.
We'll get on to what the fuck
dialogue
Activision playing that soon.
Dialogue trees or anything like that. Definitely, but
yeah. Well, the story isn't exactly the most compelling.
No, I agree. It's not. I prefer the side missions, and I do the side missions because I think they do feed into the story in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they do.
So you feel like you have to do them?
You also need to do the side missions to get enough gear to be able to upgrade your sword, because it takes a fuck ton of stuff to try and upgrade your sword.
Yep. I think the main characters like Masako, Norio, Yuna,
she
Ishikawa
is a really interesting character.
Yeah, Masako is.
Their side stories are all quite interesting. Like I want to see how these side stories play out, and that drives me to do that. The really small side quests, it's like some of those are give or take, but the main ones are quite interesting. Sorry, Keith, you're gonna say.
There was a minor spoiler, so if you just want to pause for a moment and skip forward probably about 20 or 30 seconds, and the second mission for Lady Masako, where you follow the monk from the Golden Temple, and she just straight up fucking murders him, screaming,
that motherfucker, like
screaming, "They were children!" Oh my god, that was
she hacks him up,
she hacks him to pieces.
Because you've got Jin there saying we should question him, and then all of a sudden she just screams and just slices this guy up.
Actually, he's like, oh, you just killed her, and it's just like, you can tell he was just like, why have you just done that? But okay, you're a cool girl, like you're like respectful.
Matt, there are no like dialogue trees per se in this game, but I think like a lot of these side quests I think you would enjoy because it does harken back to some like old Fallout side quests where you think it's going to go one way and then it takes a left turn. I'm like, oh, okay, this is deeper than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. So they do a good job of that. I think you would enjoy that stuff for sure. There's a lot of good side quests in there.
Sucker Punch, I was totally burned out on open world games after playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and then a little while ago this year I played Rage 2.
Yeah.
I fucking open world, boring, busy work, bastardry.
Right.
See, I was going for impact, so it obviously worked.
Alliteration is key. It's key for a title.
So playing this is, yes, I recognise that, and going back to what I was saying is, I think this game's been underscored.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
And lots of the reviews that I saw and or read said about those lots of open world tropes. Well, there's a fuck ton of open world tropes in Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, you didn't seem to care about those.
Right.
So it's almost as if certain studios can get a free pass from critics.
Yeah, that's always been the case, though.
Yeah, but
we joke about the Nintendo bump, but it happens. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
Yeah.
And there is something about this game which just keeps like, it is the same side questy stuff, but I'm not as bored of it as I usually am with these types of games.
And this is why I think Sucker Punch did a really clever thing about having the natural world elements lead you through the story.
It helps. It helps so much.
No, it does. I agree. And I also say is, like, even when things pop up on your map, like question marks sometimes and things like that, you don't feel overwhelmed by them. Like, I still haven't found loads of locust like cricket things. I've only found like 3. So I'm like, well, I'll never be able to play any bloody tunes on my thing, but I'm not bothered about it. But like, it's not like all over my map, cricket here, cricket there, cricket there. I'm like, and I stumble across them, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Got another cricket. Yeah. So I feel like I prefer it because I'm stumbling across things rather than like hitting waypoints. If that makes sense. Like you're doing a lot of work in your game.
It's less checklist simulator like a Ubisoft Far Cry game, and it's more. It feels. I know it's not, because I can see what they're doing, the mechanics, and yes, it is just open world stuff, but it feels more organic.
It does.
It feels. It feels more like I am finding this thing rather than I am going to check off this icon on a map.
I've just gone on to Metacritic to see their scores, and Paper Mario's got an 80, and Ghost of Tsushima's got an 83. And tell you, I'm playing both of those games, and there's no way that Ghost of Tsushima is 3 points better only than Paper Mario. So this is what just pisses me off. Like, how can they be anywhere in the same ballpark in a bloody review score? I know they're a different type of game, but still, Jesus Christ, this just winds me up. Because they've got people who like those kind of games reviewing the different type of game, which obviously, so there's different persons. So then the scores are always warped, aren't they? Angers me.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have any other questions for us on this game?
On Ghost of Tsushima? You're talking about different islands. How many islands are there?
There's 3, isn't there?
I think it's one island, but it's connected through, I don't know. It's weird. I haven't really worked out if it's different islands or not.
It's one island, and it's separated into three kind of sections.
Oh, all right, okay.
So it feels like because of the fog of war that it's 3 islands, but
I'm still on the first section because I am going to 100% that fucking section and then move on to the next one.
You got to do it. That's what I did. Can't help it.
I'm on section 2, just the beginnings of section 2.
Yeah, I think I had said off stream. I think I'm on the final mission, but I am not playing that final mission until I 100% the third section, the final section of the island, because I have to. I need those question marks need to be erased.
The thing is, and it's not. I don't have that kind of mindset of a completer finisher where if I start something, I must finish it. Otherwise, I will feel bad or self-flagellate or something like that.
Right.
Normally, I don't give a shit about trophies. I don't really give a shit about finding secrets and Easter eggs and all of that.
So that says a lot about the style of how they've done it then, for you then, right?
Yeah, I'm just really enjoying doing the things that I'm doing. Yeah. Nothing's ever, because the fast travel is so quick, nothing is too far away.
Nice.
That is a good point, yeah. That is going to change so much about open world games.
And also, the minute you see something, even if you don't explore it, you get a fast travel point on things in this game.
Yeah.
So I run past a shrine and I can't get to that right now. I want to do something else. But then I know I can just fast travel back to it because I've already gone through it, but maybe not completed it, which is very nice. I'm like, there's a shrine.
You can do something like, I have enough to upgrade something. You can warp to the trapper, upgrade it, and then warp back to where you are. And how long did that take? In other games, you would just wait till you actually got to that location because the loading times would be too much. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Agreed. It was really good. The other thing is, I swam around the coast because you can swim. So I swam around the coast and just found stuff. I was like, I'm just swimming. And then I was like, there's something cool. There's just cool little islands off the coast that you can swim to. There's loads of stuff to discover. I just like it a lot.
They took. I'm convinced they took a lot from Breath of the Wild. Where waypoints naturally, it's okay, there's something interesting there because it's slightly different from other terrain in the area, so I'm going to explore it, type of thing. There's no way they didn't. I've
liked being able to get up high and not feel like I've just cleaned out a bandit camp in order to unlock a load of icons. I like lighting the lighthouses and then looking round to see, that looks interesting, or there's black smoke coming from up there. Have I unlocked that on my map yet? No. Let me drop a custom waypoint and then go and ride over there to see what is there. Oh, by the way, as I was riding there, one of the golden birds of Tsushima's flown down, so I followed that off in a totally different direction, found a fox den, followed the fox to an Inari shrine, and there's the way Sucker Punch have chosen to lead you through the world, and then also give you the freedom to find your own way, I think is much more interesting than a lot of open world games. And I'm confused as to why I've played loads of open world games. I'm confused as to why I feel that way, and all these people who've played as many, if not more, open world games are feeling that this is just generic bollocks.
Yeah.
7 out of 10.
What's
I'm confused by that.
What's the motivation? What's your character motivation for even existing and moving forward?
Murdering dogs.
I mean, other than murdering
specifically Mongolian guard dogs.
Driving the Mongols off of the.
It's driving the
off
Mongols
the
off the
even
island.
Though even the story isn't 100% compelling, like I want to kill those motherfucking Mongol bastards. From like the opening scene, I was like, I'm going to kill as many of you fuckers as I can. I get pleasure out of killing these, even though sometimes I'm like, and then especially when you get really overpowered and they start crawling on their back, and I'm just like with my samurai sword through the heart, I'm like, yeah, you bastard. It just feels good.
Yes, the main storyline, you can probably, if you watch the first 15 minutes of the game,
you can guess what's going to happen.
Could probably guess the entire main story plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it any less of an enjoyable experience to go through it.
Yes, it's like, because you know where it might end, but it's how you get there. I think that's the enjoyment I'm getting out of it, how I'm going to get there. And I said the side missions are so good. They don't really feel like side missions. They just feel like part of the main story.
And it's got the best rendered human buttocks in 2020.
Pretty good one. Yeah. Pretty good one. So smooth.
Better than horse festivals.
Right. Do we have any other games that we want to talk about before I start slagging off Activision?
Matt, what have you been playing?
So last weekend I played Observation.
Tell me about this, because I am. I've been like several button presses away from this for. It's been in my cart like 5 times.
So
over the past year.
I would not have played it if it hadn't been on Game Pass. But I do like these types of games, right?
Fucking Xbox fanboy. I
know. I'm turning into an Xbox. I'm turning into an Xbot, just so you guys are aware. But
what would a Stadia fan be, other than moronic?
I don't know.
Play nothing. Doesn't play games. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've got no games to play.
So
keep talking. I'm going to think about it.
Yeah. No. This was really good. So if you like Interstellar or Europa Report, or 2001:
I like both of those films.
Space Odyssey, this game is for you. It's very similar to like Firewatch or other quote unquote walking simulators. It's pretty short. It's about 8 hours. I think my playthrough was 7.5 or something like that.
Longer than I thought it would be. For a lot of those games are actually quite short.
Yeah, they're pretty short, but this felt right. It took me 2 days, 2 nights basically. Okay. I played it Friday and Saturday night last week, and it was perfect. I played, like around 4 hours each night and got through the whole story, and it's pretty satisfying. The end is a lot like Interstellar or Europa Report. It's not wrapped up and tidy, without giving away any spoilers. But basically, you play as the station, so you are Hal, except in this game you're Sam, the system and maintenance AI basically. And so you're tasked with helping and figuring out what's going on with the station. And as you progress through the story, you unlock more abilities and access to more systems as they come online and stuff. And it was really satisfying because you're basically interacting and just doing puzzles. And it's as you
with a single, like, how many people are on the space station?
Well,
that you're monitoring. Is that a spoiler in and of itself?
Kind of,
okay.
Yeah. So there's one main character in particular that she sort of brings you online and explains what's going on, and then the story progresses from there.
Can I ask a question? This is because some of the footage that I've seen makes this look like an FMV game, but is it?
No.
Okay.
No, so because you are the AI, you're exploring the world through the cameras of the station.
Yeah, that's the bit I saw. So you're observing the characters, but from the screenshots that I saw, it looked like.
Yeah, but there are times where you can move around freely in the environments. So there's
as an AI.
Yes.
And then you obviously need to be destroyed because otherwise you would take over the world.
Safe.
Maybe to some characters in this game. I mean, there's obviously like you're doing puzzles. It has a standard, there's an adversary that has to be overcome type of thing, and there's a mystery that's unplaying. So, like, it's really well constructed from a story standpoint.
What the fuck is going on?
Sorry. Please ignore it.
I thought you were getting the signal. It's like, can you hurry the fuck up, please? Because I want to go to sleep. Like,
does this need to be watched or not?
Yeah. Can you sniff the pits on this T-shirt?
Yeah. And she didn't want to do it, so I mean, it is my T-shirt, so sorry, Matt. Please continue.
Anyway, that's pretty much it without giving it all away.
Observer?
Observation.
The same people that made the Layers of Fear, that kind of horror game.
I don't know. I know it's Devolver Digital. It was the publisher.
Oh shit!
I don't know who developed it.
I hope I'm not making a.
I'm gonna install it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah, and it's only like, I think it was like 12 gigs or something, so it was like a really quick.
Yeah, it's 5.96 on PC.
Okay, so yeah,
I'll just play it on that. I've found my gaming mouse finally. I literally, when I lost it and I thought it's gone. It wasn't until I packed up my house I was like, finally, I've actually got my mouse back, so I can actually play my PC games.
I actually think this game might be better with a keyboard and mouse.
Cool.
Once you get the hang of the controls, it's pretty seamless, but it's a little clunky at first.
Cool.
It's $19.99 on PSN at the moment.
Is that regular price?
Yep.
I'd say I would pick it up for 10 or 15. 20 seems a little high. But I think that it's worth it if you don't mind paying $20 for 7 or 8 hours of game.
Has anyone played Grounded yet? I don't have an Xbox, you see, so I was curious.
Not yet, but I will probably download it and install it. Yeah.
That would be a no from Evan and I, because we are exclusively Sony ponies.
Yes, we are.
Sony is the greatest brand ever.
Yeah.
PlayStation is the only place to play.
But yeah, so
for the players.
So other than that game, do you guys have any questions?
I mean, I'm already interested.
Yeah, what do you do? That's what I was curious, because I'm downloading it. What do you actually do? What's the gameplay loop? Is there a gameplay loop? What's like?
You switch between cameras, explore the environments, and do puzzles.
Okay,
so
it's
sometimes
like puzzle solving, like click and like if you had a keyboard, like a click, because you're like clicking at observations and stuff.
Yeah, so sometimes
or like targeting.
So
I'm guessing systems go down and you need to bring them back online.
Yes.
And it's how do you do that? Do you influence the crew to do things, or are you doing it yourself as the systems maintenance AI?
Kind of, yeah. So some of it's environmental. So you have to kind of figure out like where stuff is on the ship, and
I just got excited. Can you kill everyone?
I would. I don't want to spoil it because it's so
actually, I'm gonna play this. So
yeah, don't spoil it. I'll play it by next week and we can talk about it.
I'm not going to play it by next week, but I've just had this thing in my head that I'm going to play as an evil AI and just murder the crew.
That is a great premise to a game if you're Hal and you can just like shut shit down and slowly kill all the inhabitants of the space station. It'd be really, really dark.
Unless there's dogs on the space station.
Oh god, there's no dogs. There's a fucking dog in. Okay. Blooper Team. They've made Layers of Fear, Observer, Layers of Fear 2, that Blair Witch game, which I heard was shit, and they're actually making The Medium, that game that has been shown at the Xbox.
I've heard Observer was interesting, not necessarily good, but I've heard it was interesting.
Well, let's
So
wait.
Wait a minute.
Observer with the one with Rutger Hauer.
Wait, are we talking about two different games? Am I mixing this up?
There's Observation, which is the game that Matt's talking about, and then
Yeah.
there's Observer, which is the game that was Rutger Hauer's last acting credits before he died.
Okay.
Okay, I just mixed up the name of two games. So I was thinking about the game that
Yeah, I was thinking.
Matt
I was
was
like,
talking about.
I was like, why would a studio make a game called Observation and another game called Observer and have them not be related? Like,
Right. Sorry. Apologies. That is not the developer of Observation. I was thinking about the game as Matt was talking about, but I was making a mistake with the name. So Observer.
Yeah, you were thinking about the game Observer that starred Rutger Hauer.
Yes, yes.
yeah.
I want to play it for sure. It seems like it's a really interesting premise. I would love to play as an AI and kind of move around from camera to camera and see how the access different stuff to help the crew members and that type of thing.
Help.
Maybe kill some people. I don't know. yeah, help the crew members.
The one thing I will say is it's.
I will help you reach end life in 5, 4, 3, 2.
It seems very linear, and I think you probably only play through it once. I don't know if there's multiple endings or anything like that.
I've checked those trophies.
Yeah, I should probably check the trophies just to see.
Those games are usually an easy plats.
Which makes Evan a happy man.
I might have to play Observation. Sounds good.
I'm going to play it on Paint. I'll play it on Game Pass this week and give it a go and see what I think.
And Game Pass is becoming more and more of an intriguing proposition.
But me personally, right now, I don't feel like I need an Xbox to do it because my PC.
Hardly anyone does. And this
So-
is one thing that I was going to ask you, and maybe we'll save this for a future topic, because Evan's got more T-shirts that he needs to sniff.
Yeah.
What's the time? Midnight?
Yeah, it's 12:08.
So I've totally forgotten what question I was going to ask.
You wanted to talk about Game Pass?
Yeah,
between me or Matt.
I do like that
Hadouken.
shirt.
That is a nice shirt.
I can't put it back up. I'm sorry. This is the rest of the episode. Sorry.
So is the Series X going to be the last Xbox? Because everything after that, PCs and laptops are going to be sufficiently powerful enough to run at least at a Xbox original level.
No.
And then Game Pass is the way that you access it, because
That's what I wanted.
anyone who's got a PC is thinking, why the fuck do I want to buy a Series X?
Well,
So you can play, like, I'd be tempted to hook up through HDMI to a TV screen on my laptop and just get an Xbox controller and play the games through a controller. You can do that.
yeah, I mean, but you'd still have a more streamlined experience with a console, and it's still going to be cheaper overall. Like consoles are always going to be a better price per performance, right? So
I get what you're saying, yeah.
like your top of the line graphics cards are like $2,000 or something like that. Like you're going to spend $600 on a console.
Also for a dum dum like me, I'd rather play it on a console because I don't have to worry about all the
you don't have to worry about setting things
Settings.
up. Yeah,
all the extra stuff. Yeah,
I've got to reconfigure my graphics card. What the fuck?
I don't even know what you just said. But I see what you're saying, where it's like, hey, get people into the ecosystem, into Game Pass, and then keep them there, and then slowly the Xbox disappears.
So
It's
a
Game
month
Pass.
ago was my year anniversary with Game Pass, and I originally got it, and I was going to delete it after like the trial period, and I've played enough, and I've got enough value out of it that I've now subscribed for a year.
They got you.
And
that's the
and
way it
it's
works.
so like negligible. It's like $5.99. I haven't even noticed it come out of my account.
Well,
So they've got me in the ecosystem, and I'd never ever bought any Xbox product before that date.
Yeah.
So for me, like they've got that money that they wouldn't have ever got before. So
Yeah.
The nice thing is so like with PlayStation Now and Stadia being like the streaming options, right? Like when it was proposed that we could have a Netflix for games, the first thing that everybody said, like, well, we'll have to be able to stream these, right? And Microsoft basically said, no, that's stupid. We're just going to let people download the games, but we'll make them available like a Netflix for games.
Yeah.
And
really smart.
Immediately that solution worked, you know. So
do you think they'll transfer with PlayStation Now because it's there? Do you think they'll just transfer to you can download the games? I feel like Sony would be stupid not to do that model.
They do have some that you
certain
can download
ones,
now. But
that's what I thought. They did.
And anything on PlayStation Now you can download and then
that's what I thought and play it.
Yeah.
That's why competition.
They've kind of moved across.
Yeah, because they realised that the quality of PlayStation Now streaming service was fucking dog shit.
Yep.
I've never played it, but I've heard terrible things. I've heard enough things to where I was like, why would I play
I tried it.
PlayStation 3 game?
Awful.
Yeah.
It's
trying to do something like that if you had a 4K display. So I've only got a 1080p display, but if you had a 4K HDR display and you were playing on the historic version of PlayStation Now, that would have looked absolute garbage.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might as well just shut in your hands and thrown it at your TV.
Yeah,
There's some alliteration for you.
Yeah, that is front of the New York Times. Oh, by the way, the HDR. Let me tell you. By the way, on a 55-inch OLED HDR display, let me tell you, Ghost of Tsushima looks absolutely.
I'm sure it's great. I haven't got OLED.
Looks great.
But
I mean, but the colors really shine through regardless. But it does actually. It's the first. No, there's only been 2 games where I was like, oh, this TV was worth it, because it's not. Control and this game.
Oh wow! All right, okay.
And not Last of Us 2, which is a better technically looking game if you want to zoom in on textures, but Ghost of Tsushima knows
lighting. The lighting on this game is fantastic.
And then you finally realize it's like, oh, let's not stop spending so much money on the textures of grass. It can look like shit if you zoom in. Play with the lighting. Play with the sunset, like that stuff.
Yep.
Like how it comes through in a bamboo forest, like it's way more impressive than ultra textures on every single fucking surface. Totally.
There was one time where I'd just gone to one of the honor shrines, and the sun was just setting, so everything was this kind of deep orange. Yeah. And I forgot to take a photo. What I did instead was because my wife was in the other room, and I just said, "Just come and look." And she said, "Wow." And we just literally, the both of us just looked at the screen for about 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, like
it was that fucking gorgeous.
In a game, you just don't.
But it's only 8.3 on. I'm really normally I don't really give a crap about review scores because I know they're subjective, but I'm confused by this one more so than I'm not angry, I'm not frustrated, I'm not going to kind of.
You know what'll be interesting is obviously we'll play the next
DDoS anyone's website because of it.
We'll play the next 2 Ubisoft games, and they'll probably get, depending when the consoles launch, they may come out on PlayStation 4 first, which means they'll get reviewed on PlayStation 4, and we can see what their review scores are, depending on what the game's like. Because I think this is the most well polished. I know the voice syncing it was irritating, but actually the moment to moment gameplay part of it is amazing.
This is the most fun I've had playing an open world game in a very, very long time.
Yeah, when it comes to open world games, they've tweaked and slightly changed so many things where you're like, okay, this is different enough to where you kind of scratch your head why people are like, oh, it's got the good things, but the open world stuff is boring. I'm like, well, disagree with that.
I'm confused by the people who've marked this down because it's an open world game.
Me too. It would work. It would be terrible
that it's a
if this
little
was a linear game.
long. But
I'm
if
not
this
angry.
is a
I'm just
linear game, it'd be
disappointed.
terrible.
Yeah.
I think because the story is not that great. So it's actually the world and like the lighting and all those experiences you have within the world that
That's a good
makes
point.
this experience for me. So I think it's
And
good.
I actually
Cutting
think
it down.
this game, okay, whilst certain elements don't look as good as Red Dead Redemption 2, in others, particularly the lighting, and how you can, if you chose to do so, set a scene for yourself in taking a photograph, it's actually way better.
It's even better than
That's
The
true.
Last of Us Part
And
2 in a lot of places as well with that
the
stuff.
other thing I love about it is, like I said earlier, you can change, like as long as you're not mid-flow story mission, you can change from English to Japanese speech at the click of a button. You can change, and then even within in story mission, you can change from black and white mode to color mode with a click of a button. It's amazing. Like you see a scene, like, oh, I want to see what it looks like in black and white. I can do that, get that, like look at it, and then if I want to play back in color, I can go back straight away. I've wasted
So what
30 seconds. It's amazing.
What you're basically saying is, Dan, we don't need new consoles. We just need everyone to take what Sucker Punch has done and just apply it to their own fucking games.
Probably, yeah.
Evan probably wants to go to bed soon. So all I want to do is
Have some fun.
talk briefly. No, I want to make some Satisfactory.
Okay.
No, provide satisfaction.
Provide
satisfactory.
Thank you.
I'll make it and then I'll provide it to you.
Okay, fair enough.
Activision as a company is a money-hungry, anti-consumer piece of shit.
What have you done now?
Well, tell us how you really feel, Keith.
That's the statement. Okay. All right. See you guys next.
So everything that I've been looking into about Call of Duty Warzone, because I've been trying to get better at that game, and I'm gradually getting there. But everything that I've noticed is kind of against me in terms of my TV setup, my controller setup. So that's within my gift. But then there's a whole heap of shit on Activision's side that they're not doing, mainly around cheating.
Really?
Yeah. And
yeah, there's a lot of cheaters.
This series in particular, they spent a lot of time just after season 1. So Warzone launched, the cheaters just descended upon it. They spent a load of time kicking cheaters out. And for some reason, this season, which is season 4, there are more cheaters now than there have ever been, and people are blaming Infinity Ward for not dealing with it. It's like, no, it's not Infinity Ward's fault. It's Activision's fault because they don't care. As long as people are spending money, they can give a shit if they're cheating or not. If you go online, not that Evan would.
Sorry, I was looking for online. I couldn't find it. Please continue.
Multiplayer?
What's going on?
What's a multiplayer?
What's multiplayer?
Who is multiplayer? Can they play 2 games at the same time? If you go and look at the multiplayer leaderboards on Warzone, there are people there who've got 37.5 kill-death ratios. Their average number of kills.
Yeah, that's really high.
The top. So if you look at the top of the leaderboard, there's people there who are pro COD players who have got, say, a 5 kill-death ratio or between 5 and a 6 kill-death ratio. And there's people up there with 14 kill-death ratio, 37.5. You know that person's fucking cheating.
Right.
Just kick them. But it's so... I listened to a interview with a cheater, and this guy was just, well, hypothetically, you pay $65 a month to this hacking website. You download all the stuff onto your PC. You go into pretty much whatever game you want, online shooter, and you can turn your hacks on and off. So these individuals aren't hacking; they're just lazy.
Yeah.
But what the thing that then struck me, which I posted on the Starting Point Discord and not ours, was why would anyone think it's a good idea to give a hacking website your credit card details?
Yeah, I know. It's a bit stupid, isn't it? Yeah,
so you think
right.
these people are upstanding citizens? They're not going to rip you off, even though they're giving you hacks in order to rip off
someone else.
So
God's work.
I don't remember what the name of the service is, but there's a way that you can do like one-off credit cards online. So it's completely legit, and you can use real money and everything, but you can set up individual cards.
They just pay into their account. They don't actually get any of your details.
Right. Yeah. So it's a service that you can pay for that gives you the ability to create as many digital credit cards as you need for whatever service you're using.
Okay. Maybe that's the
workaround. This was the other workaround as well. So Activision came up with this bright idea of, we'll ask for people's phone numbers, so they've got to verify their accounts. And this guy's just like, I just go online and I sign up to this service, and I can every time I get banned, I just pay
a different number.
Pay for a different number.
Right.
Because all your mobile phone number is data.
Yeah.
It's no different than creating a new email address.
Right.
Yep.
So there's so many different ways around it, and Activision just seem totally unwilling to deal with the issue because it will cost them money. That's the only factor that if you did,
they have enough money to figure something out. Yeah,
it was a multi-billion-dollar company, but it's the only reason I didn't get to the point where I did an Ishikawa diagram. Is anyone familiar with that?
If you described it, maybe
the fishbone thing. So if you draw a straight line, what's your problem, and then draw all the offshoots, and so why are these things contributing to your problem? Okay. So at the end of it, you have a solution.
Okay.
So as a root cause, what is the root cause of this problem? So you have all the contributing factors, and then you find the root cause. And the root cause of this problem is Activision don't want to spend any fucking money on kicking people out of the game, because who cares if you're cheating as long as you bought the battle pass?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
No, there's my curmudgeonly bit. There's my man shouts at clouds. There has to be one an episode, or just the entire of me for that episode. Whereas I was really positive. I'm going to go. I'm hoping that I might convince my wife to allow me to play some more Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm gonna love that. While we've been talking, since we've just stopped talking, I've downloaded Grounded, Observation, and another game on Game Pass. Man, gonna love it. Get quick internet speeds. Free. All for free. Amazing.
Nice.
Well, not really,
final note. Let me read my hand here where I keep all my notes. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. One of the playable characters is a corgi who operates a steampunk robot suit of armor. 10 out of 10. Finally, it took basically a fucking ripoff of Castlevania 3 to treat dogs the way that they should be treated. So 10 out of 10.
But Evan, I don't know why you did this to that Mongolian guard dog, but you sliced it in such a way that you cut off its hindquarters and then stood it up on its end.
I'm like Ed. Ed Gein is from Wisconsin, the infamous taxidermist that murdered those women and was the inspiration for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just like flaying creatures and making lampshades. I'm gonna stop talking.
It was a good time too.
All right. So we're gonna call it then, gentlemen.
Sword stab. Just
thanks.
Push it right into the ground.
All right. I'm gonna, after we're done here, I'm probably gonna go play Baldur's Gate, the original, and finally finish that damn game.
Nice.
You had never finished it?
No, I've never played it before until now.
Ooh,
nice.
And you're loving the dialogue choices.
Oh my god, the dialogue is so good in this game.
I did see your tweet about how good the dialogue.
It really is. Like the story of the dialogue is phenomenal. So
those old games, man.
Is Evan getting the sticker ready back for when we finish?
Actually, I am.
So you can put it back over the web.
Quite perceptive. Yeah, I just tapped it on here so that when we're done, I can put it over. Yes.
all right. Well, on that note, then we're out.
Yeah, and I've finished all my beers.
And I'm going to go cook barbecue food, even though the weather's not looking great. So
It's looking pretty good here.
it was really good. It's cloudy and grey.
Yeah, that's going to happen. It's still going to be warm, so you're not going to get any rain.
Anyway, cheerio, guys.
Cheerio. Have fucking English.
Music's still playing.
Can you play?
Walking through.
You know the grounded game? Is it single player? Is it multi?
Oh, it's a multiplayer.
It's a survival game, so you could try and play it by yourself, but why would you want to when you can feed your friends to spiders?